Grandpa Bob.
Grandpa Bob.
I like that.
Alright, we're here at Huntington Park.
In Oneonta.
In Oneonta, that's right. I typically have the text come up saying what city we're in.
I got text for you right here. Here, go up to that.
Oh yeah.
On the 9th day of July 1920, the Huntington Library and Park were opened, etc. Let's walk toward the library. On this. They put this in many years after the park was first built because nobody would go around that way. Everybody was cutting across, and they had this dirt path that they couldn't get rid of. They put no walking, keep off the grass.
So that was the original path over there? Oh,
and then they finally, the park people finally gave up and they paved the path.
Here, while we see the church, do you want to explain some of the history there?
I don't know much about it, but I was told that it's not made of stone. It's a wooden frame with a stone facade. And you see those spires at the top? It was getting weak, so they replaced the original spires with foam spires, just so that they wouldn't have too much weight on there. And you see a loudspeaker on the lower left-hand side. It makes a horrible noise. They play chimes that don't sound like chimes.
Well, there you have it. That's the history of the Chestnut Street, or Church Street Church. Main Street in Oneonta, they don't have the mask rule, do they?
No.
Ah, cool.
Their rule is you wear a mask in crowded areas.
Okay.
Even if you're on Main Street and it's crowded, you should have a mask on. If you can maintain 6 feet from everybody else, you don't need a mask.
Alright, that's a good rule, because yeah, the whole Cooperstown thing, I think they were doing that hopefully just for tourists, but it was kind of...
This is Huntington Library, built by Ellsworth Huntington. And then he left Oneonta and went to Pasadena and built another Huntington Library, which is supposed to be world famous. Come on over this way. That little greenhouse is a new addition they put onto the original. Oh, there's an interesting sign on this bush. If we still have the sign.
On the bush?
It's about the bush. I think it's stuck on the ground here somewhere. Well, I'll tell you from memory, this bush is an extremely rare type of bush. It's extremely valuable, and I believe it's over 100 years old.
Wow.
Point at that guy.
Oh yeah.
Huntington Library in Quickville.
Huntington Memorial Library. Yeah. The historic Quickville. Actually, the theater right there, that's a good... Is this the same?
Yeah, same sign.
Same sign?
Finish it?
I mean...
Huntington and his wife Harriet Saunders Huntington for the use of the people of Oneonta by their son Henry Edward Huntington. They used to be a Christian Science church. They ran out of members and sold the building and turned into an apartment building.
I always thought the apartments in there must be pretty nice.
I haven't seen it since they rebuilt it. It's only a couple of years ago they rebuilt it.
See, this is over there is a pretty nice renovation. The whole Deep Street parking lot thing.
Yeah. It is. Which way do you want to go?
Let's go straight into Main Street. There's a lot there. Talk about the theater.
I know. It's the Oneonta Theater. They took the marquee off. They used to have a beautiful marquee on it, and one of the mayors decided it was ugly, so he asked him to take the marquee off and put that ugly little platform on there. And we want to restore it, but we can't get the money. And it's going to mold. It's getting moldy inside. And it may be beyond restoration at this point.
Isn't this where there used to be an opera house? Like
right over there, Bassett Healthcare. The building came down. It was the Oneonta Opera House, and it didn't look like an opera house when I was around.
did you ever see it? Like when it was? It wasn't an opera house.
It was always a very run-down apartment building.
Okay.
And they decided to tear it down, but then they put in an ugly building in its place. Ugly Bassett Healthcare. Doesn't fit Oneonta at all. But nice progress.
Yeah.
This used to be a drugstore. This used to be a door, back door. It had a nice door. They decided to replace it with bricks. These windows were all bricked up. Then a new owner bought it. He took the bricks off and put windows back in.
They've been here for a long time, Simply Thai.
Yeah. Wow. There's a yellow deli over there.
Yeah.
It's owned by a religious organization called 12 Tribes, or 10 Tribes. A certain number of tribes.
Numbers, tribes.
This used to be a jewelry store. And right over here, they had a railroad watch. And they made sure it was always the right time to the exact second. So you could come over here and set your watch.
That's cool. This was the hardware store, right?
This was Stephen's hardware store. He had it for about 60 years. He just passed away about 5 years ago. Now it's not a hardware store anymore.
How long has the novelty been there?
I don't know. It came in when I wasn't living here.
Okay, so
Not too long.
when you
I came back in 2000,
okay, and when did you leave?
about 1970.
Okay.
This is nice. This is an attempt to get the old look back again. It's a new store, but I like the way it looks.
Yeah. This whole section here is Brazil's, right?
No, you gotta go down. Let's see, what was disease? They've taken everything down.
Yeah, I thought it was this.
Yeah, I think it might have been right here.
Right here?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then it goes down. And that was a very excellent store. I don't know. No,
So-
I'm wrong. That's Brazil's. Starting here and then going up to almost to the novelty.
So what was Brazil's for people who don't know?
Brazil's Oneonta department store. It was a copy of Macy's, miniature Macy's in Oneonta. They always had good quality stuff at low prices, so people came from 50 miles around to buy things there. And it was very successful. Hello.
Right. Now, didn't your mom work at Brazil's, right?
She was the head of the dress department.
Okay.
They had all kinds of departments, everything you could want to buy. Dress department, electrical department, furniture department. A nice restaurant called the Health Bar. Toy department. Anything that could be sold. They had every type of item in one store. This used to be a bank. There's still a vestige of it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's depositing anything now.
It's just kind of like offices in there now, right?
Right.
Oh, I guess the farmer's market's over, but over there is where the farmer's market normally is.
Let's see. I can't remember which of them. We had 4 dime stores. The first one was Kresge's.
A dime store?
Yeah, 5 and dime store.
So kind of like the equivalent to a dollar store?
Kresge's, Grant's, Newberry's. They were in here. They've been broken up into one store so you can't see what was. But they still have here. Look at the store. Woolworths.
Woolworths?
The biggest dime store in the country.
That's
At
cool.
one time. There was a big skyscraper in New York, the Woolworth building.
Wow.
It was the biggest one that was built.
That's cool that it's still on the doors.
Yeah, and it's kind of modern. Look at how nice and look,
Air conditioned.
That was fantastic in the 40s. Over there used to be Sears and Roebuck's.
Where?
Right after Joe Ruffino's.
Oh.
Going down.
Okay.
That was the second largest store in Oneonta, but they didn't do much business because of disease.
So even Ruffino's wasn't here when you were
No.
when you had left.
No.
But wow. Yeah, they've been out of business for almost 10 years now. Was there much the same when you came back from like the 70s to?
It's pretty much the same, 70s to 2000, but then in the last 20 years, just change happens.
What about
I think this is brand new. I think it's a topless bar, but I'm not sure. I haven't been in there.
Oh yeah, what about Broad Street? Wasn't that?
Yeah, that was Broad Street was there, I think, or here. Let me see. This might have been. Oh, no. Yeah, that was Broad Street over there. That was a great street. We should go over and take a look at the trolley.
Okay.
We had trolleys that ran on iron tracks when I was a kid. And they did run down Broad Street.
So back in 1940 and 50, there was
I don't think they even had them in the 50s. I think it was way back in the 40s.
in the 1940s there was a trolley on a road that used to be here.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This was a street, and then they decided that somehow they wanted to have a hotel in here. This hotel was supposed to match the decor of the rest of Oneonta. They were going to put a brick facade on, but they never got around to it. And so now it doesn't match.
Yeah.
I'll show you the trolley track. There they are. There's a piece of the trolley track.
Oh, no kidding.
Around Oneonta. You can take a picture of that sign too.
Yeah. So yeah, this.
Travel up Broad Street to meet Main Street. Yeah, you get off the train, and apparently you'd get on the trolley and come up, and that used to be the Oneonta Hotel.
Wow. So back in the day, this was like the subway of Oneonta.
Yeah, above ground way.
Yeah, above ground. So, like, that's so cool. It's one thing Oneonta doesn't have that Cooperstown has is a billionaire to keep it the same.
I know.
They have Jane Clark, who has honestly saved Cooperstown.
Yeah.
She has made that place so beautiful and preserved.
That's right.
And Oneonta, I mean, it changes, and that's sort of, I guess, the nature of things.
Well, we fight it. We fight change, but
yeah,
you get outvoted in the city council, and
yeah.
then one store goes and another store goes. They're gonna tear down a historic Ford Motor Company building. You should see that later.
Oh, by the Yellow Deli back there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It was one of the original Ford dealers in the country. And when it opened, Henry Ford himself came out to help open it.
Really?
Yep.
Oneonta, City of the Hills. Not Life Enjoyed or whatever the hell it is. Yep.
Well, they had to stop that Life Enjoyed because nobody was enjoying it. This bank was here when I was a kid, before I was a kid. And right over there, next to it was the Palace movie theater. And they showed a movie called Samson and Delilah. And Samson, in the end of the movie, pushed the pillars down and knocked the temple down. So when I was a kid, I got up here and I pushed as hard as I could.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't push them down.
Yeah, I almost did. This used to be the other theater, the Palace Theater. City Community Bank has built another building, doesn't match. We had a hard time saving that one. That was the post office. I wasn't here when it was saved, but there was a big fight. They couldn't save it. Finally, somebody got it declared a historic, National Historic Landmark, and then they weren't allowed to tear it down.
Nice. Now they have to use it. Now it's the...
Now it's City Hall.
Yeah, now it's City Hall. So...
Strange people walking around.
Yep.
This used to be J.C. Penney's.
See, when I was a kid, this was always the abandoned mattress store.
Yeah, that came after Penny's went out.
Yeah, I just remember there was a sign on the building with like animated guy's face in a mattress store.
Yep.
Now it's Wise Guys Sammy's, which is a very good sandwich store.
What do they got there? Looks like a good bar. I don't go into bars anymore. Actually, I never did after I got out of my 20s.
Yeah. Underground Attic. Very cool vintage clothing store. Was Sal's here when you were on? No, 1977. Nope.
I don't remember.
Even Sal's wasn't here. That's crazy. Hey guys.
Hey, Dylan. How you doing? Oh, two dogs. Hello, boys. That's the Episcopal Church.
Yep.
I think that's really a stone structure. Not sure. Well, let's come back this way and see the Ford building.
Okay.
Because this gets a little bit unhistorical once you get past this church.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. See, people come here from New York and they don't have to wear their mask if it isn't crowded.
Yeah. It's I think a lot of people are getting pretty used to it.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I'm not.
It bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still not used to it.
Look at these nice pillars on the old post office. Oh, I got a story. When I came back to Oneonta in 2000, or actually around 1998, I went to mail a letter. And we went to pull this down. It was welded. And I said, oh, wait, this isn't the post office anymore. And this isn't the post office box anymore.
Please wear a wet paint.
Look at this, 1913. That's an old timer.
Wow.
Does anybody remember Oscar Wenderoth?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Doesn't ring a bell with me either.
Now, if Broad Street was moved, was this street here?
Yeah.
This street was here, okay.
Yeah. They just built a hotel right across where Broad Street was, just left to right, back and front.
See, when I talk to people about that, they always say that it used to be filled with bars and
Bars on both sides. It was always, Oneonta was always a bar town.
Yeah, well, it still kind of is as we're.
Oh yeah, that's the case.
Yeah.
But we're gonna run on the sidewalk.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, then we're gonna run on the sidewalk on this side.
We'll have to do a walk down like through the parks and River Street one of these days.
Yep. That's the back of the Sears and Roebuck's building. It was a big store. It was actually physically probably about the same size as Brazil's, but it was kind of boring.
Brazil's lasted a lot longer, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it lasted almost a century.
Wow.
It's actually the guy that started it, Frank Brazil, he passed away, and then his sons continued on, and they passed away, and then things didn't go well after that.
Oh. So it's the damn grandchildren who failed.
They're still around.
Oh.
Oh, we're gonna go by the railroad station.
Was the railroad station active when you were a kid?
Oh sure, even when I was a young adult.
Huh. See, that's
I got on a train there and went to Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, I had to go on the D&H up to Albany and then transfer to the New York Central in Albany. And then I had a direct ride to Chicago.
Wow. So it just went east to west, didn't have any connection. New York
Central line, yeah, I don't know how far east it went. I got on at Albany. I think it might have stopped at Chicago.
Okay.
It was kind of slow. It took 12 hours.
I think that's still what it would take.
Yeah, they're slower now than they used to be, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just cut across and head toward the station.
Tell you one thing, Oneonta is a lot louder than Cooperstown. Like,
yeah,
just, it's nice.
It's alive, huh?
Yeah.
Well, what's Cooperstown without tourists?
Not much. I mean, it's pretty, but that is really their thing.
So the D&A's railroad station was converted into restaurants, and I think this shutdown,
1892.
yeah,
Wow.
this COVID shutdown. I thought I saw a sign saying they're not going to open again or something.
No, yeah, I think they were kind of struggling before COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, the looks of it is, it looks pretty abandoned, and
See those lights over there?
Where?
Over the roof? The baseball lights? See those lights?
Oh, yeah, the baseball. Okay, yeah, honey, like.
That's the world's oldest commercially operated baseball park.
Wow.
Cooperstown's the oldest, but they don't have games there anymore.
True.
I think Oneonta still has games.
Mm-hmm.
And so that makes them the oldest baseball park that's still in service.
That's
We'll
cool.
go look at that sometime.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll do a whole walk through there. That's a pretty park. Niwa, I was trying to remember the name. Now, is Niwa like some Native American name? Do you know?
Yeah, it's Polish.
It's Polish.
No, it's Indian.
No, but I didn't know if you knew if it was like some maybe local tribe or if they just
I
picked
think
one.
it was, yeah.
Because that's kind of cool.
I'd have to look that up. It's probably on Google. They built this parking lot right where my uncle used to have a beer distributorship.
This was where it was?
Right over where the parking lot is.
No kidding.
Yeah. Many times as a little kid I would play over here, watch him load the beer kegs onto the trucks.
So was it kind of on the back of Water Street there, or?
It was on Market Street. Yeah, it was a Market and Chestnut Street extension.
Why don't we, let's walk up Water Street up here.
Okay.
That's a kind of a cool street.
The bus station used to be here too.
Still is.
Still is. Over there was a gas station, World War II. They had a sign, I remember, 10 gallons for $1.
Wow. So where the grass is, there was a gas station.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is all original. The back end of Main Street. Probably more original now than the front end. Though I think they made them put these fire escapes in relatively recently. Which is a good thing if you're in a fire.
Yeah. No, I've always liked how this Water Street looked. I think it's cool. Right, here's where I get my bicycle fixed and bought it.
Oh yeah. Here's Hollywood Barbershop. It used to be on Main Street. The name is the only thing that followed it. Different people, different store, different century.
But it's like an old, like that was there, like in the
Hollywood Barbershop. It was up there in the old building that they tore down.
Was it there in the, like during the 40s? Are you talking about?
Yeah, 40s, 50s.
Wow. McLaughlin shoes, and they're no longer there, but they're an old store, right?
Yeah, they're newcomers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. So where was the bar then? I mean, because this street was here.
The bars were over there where the hotel is.
But your Uncle Lenny's bar, like where?
Oh, he didn't have a bar. He had a beer distributorship.
Oh, okay.
He sold beer by the case and drove it around to different bars. And your great-grandfather drove the truck.
Okay.
And he drove it before the end of Prohibition also.
So it was a bootlegging operation.
It was my great Uncle Len was a bootlegger before he was a legitimate beer distributor. That's the Ford building over there.
So this is the whole...
That's where they sold cars. And they did maintenance. It was all shops in there, fixing cars and trucks. So
They want to tear this down?
they want to tear it down. They could make it into a really nice building. Would cost them less to recondition the old building than to tear the new one down. But Albany's giving them money to tear it down, so they want to spend it. They want to tear this down, but it'll cost a couple $1 million.
Why do they want to tear it? Like to put a new one?
Nobody likes to use it. It's like scary to walk in there.
Oh, see, I love parking in there.
Cars you got.
Well, that's true. There aren't many cars, but personally, I like parking in there because that's why. There's no one that parks in there. Like,
yeah.
You can even find a spot on here in New Year's, which is when they shoot off the fireworks in the park.
Yeah.
You can find a parking spot in here.
Well, it's here. They can't afford to tear it down.
As long as it's structurally sound, I would say.
It's pretty, it looks pretty good. I'm sure it's good. I'm not a structural engineer, but look at those steel girders.
Yeah.
Amazing. They're holding up a lot of weight, too. This is Market Street. You want to know where the bars were? Let's take a tour to the left. Well, we were that way already.
Yeah, we already, yep.
They were on the other side of that truck, or that trailways.
The bus, okay, yeah, the water, okay, Broad Street.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's the interesting part. Let's go through the boring parts.
Okay.
This is a Foothills Theater. They built that, and they don't use it very much because it has very bad acoustics.
Yeah, it's kind of just big and I don't know. It's a nice idea, but they use it for really weird, cheesy fundraisers and kids events. So
Right.
no one goes there.
Or the movie Log Jam.
Or the movie Log Jam, which for the viewers is, which is about 2 people.
It's worse than Planet 9 from Outer Space.
Yeah, it was one of the worst films made, which unfortunately featured Oneonta.
I bet that's an old one. 20 Market Street. Look at that nice little sign.
Yeah.
There's an advertisement. I think that's the original.
I bet. There's one on the other side too, I think, for, I thought it was for Coca-Cola.
Plan 9 from Outer Space. That movie was about aliens coming to conquer the Earth, and they decided to make an army by resurrecting dead people.
Terrible film.
You can see sign. That looks like it's been repainted.
Now, was Clinton Plaza here when you were a
It's
kid?
all new.
This is all new?
Yeah, look at the building.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know.
1950s modern.
Okay. So what was here?
Don't remember. There was a park here. I think the park is still here. A segment of it.
It's a cool, weird bench. Seems just...
Wow. How nice.
Yeah.
Now there was the bowling alleys were over there. And where the green earth is.
There was a bowling alley in there?
No, it was a big bowling alley. That's where everybody went to bowl.
That's
lots
cool.
And lots of lanes. This is Huntington Park. It's a lot smaller than it used to be. Welcome to the park.
This whole 10-foot
Yeah, get that sign.
Clinton Park.
General James Clinton, 1779. An expedition against the hostile Indian nations, which checked the access of the English and Indians on the frontiers of New York and Pennsylvania, etc. There's a map.
Oh yeah. Cooperstown, Oneonta.
Unadilla,
Yep.
Binghamton, Canajoharie, Owego, Chemung. Wow, these cities been around a long time, huh? Here's the soldiers. British soldiers marching down. He's no relation to Bill Clinton. Well, where do you want to go now?
I mean, we
break this into 10 videos, you know.
true. This will be a long one. Well, let's go. Let's cross here, which is kind of a sketchy place to cross, and then
We'll give you a place of safety in the middle.
all right.
You gotta watch behind you. This way you can see if somebody's turning.
Was this a bar?
This was the Coca-Cola bottling company.
Really?
Yeah, you could come over here and look through this picture window. That's why it's a picture window. So you can see the bottles marching along this big machine getting filled.
That's-
Bottles coming in and getting filled. People taking them out and such.
Huh. I used to do karate right over there. You want to cross
You
it?
gonna cross?
Yeah, let's cross here. So at least if we get hit, we're in the crosswalk.
Well, we can even push the button. Oh, I don't like the way when there's any cars coming. Oh, they're gonna stop. Okay, he says you can walk. This is the fireplace and the municipal court in one building. Oneonta Public Safety Building. They don't really care about safety.
I've paid many tickets there.
Yeah, that's what it is. You're improving the safety by paying tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And over here where ARC is, used to be Ross's Market. And he had a little quick stop store.
I like it better now. It's a better use of the space.
He used to go to Victory Supermarket and buy a lot of things and go back out with a basket. They take some Brillo and wipe the prices off the cans and price them higher and put them on the shelf.
Well, that's one business tactic.
Oh, the armory's coming up.
Oh yeah, that's a good spot. See, that's one I kind of want to try to get with the drone.
Okay.
I don't know, it'd be tricky to get with the drone. I'll have to try to, I might have to launch from over somewhere over here.
This used to be National Guard until the Vietnam War. I think after the war they shut it down. They don't know what to do with the building.
They were doing the teen center for a while,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
which
it's
actually,
not that they're not doing anything.
yeah, but the teen center was for a little while pretty cool. I remember going in there and they had some nice bands in there and a lot of people were going there, and then they decided to try to make it like a younger teen center, like
Yeah.
kind of pre-teen, and it kind of lost popularity. So this is where you would meet in the National Guard?
National Guard would meet in there. In there, it was the armory where they kept all the weapons. You see the bars on the window and how narrow the windows are.
Yeah.
That was for security. Didn't want Bonnie and Clyde. That was before my time. They used to break into armories and get BARs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a ballsy tactic.
They were. They never came this way. Al Capone drove through Oneonta once.
John Dillinger was from this area, or not from the area, but he came through here. He was seen at a gas station.
We got word he was driving. I wasn't even around then.
Yeah.
Oneonta got word that he was going to drive through Main Street. And that day, there were no cops directing traffic on Main Street or to be seen anywhere in Oneonta. I guess they had paperwork to do.
Yeah, they were busy. Now, did they direct traffic when you were a kid?
Yeah.
All right.
It used to be on the corner of Chestnut Street and Main. And they did a good job.
They still should be there, in my opinion. That's a terrible, terrible spot.
Yeah.
Some like low-income housing stuff.
They could put up TV cameras and connect them to artificial intelligence, train the artificial intelligence to direct traffic. It would do just as good a job as the human policeman did back in the 30s. But they probably won't do that until the 22nd century.
Yeah. That was one thing I really did like about Andrew Yang, who ran for president.
Yeah.
He just seemed to have an interesting, thought on the whole modern technology. Instead of being so like afraid of it, he was like,
Yeah.
let's explore it and
Yep.
use it.
Just gotta leave that up to young people.
Yeah.
Well, we'll either get him to do it or Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I were president, I'd appoint Mitch as the head of a committee for modernizing technology.
God.
There's the church again with the foam spires and the loudspeakers on the top.
Do you think, are they actually foam?
So I was told. I couldn't believe it. I think the whole thing is foam all the way around there.
It's crazy.
It's just for safety.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people walk really close to it, and it's...
Well, the whole thing could come down if there's too much weight.
Yeah.
It's a wooden structure that's holding it up. Remember, that's not being held up by those stones. They're just weighing it down. They did a really excellent job. I still am not sure that it isn't stone. It's just that I was told that it isn't.
The whole thing, as I think you said to me, it burned down at some point in time, right?
1923.
In 1923, the whole church burned down.
Yeah, and then they built this.
Huh. And before the stone, like in the 20s,
It was a wood one.
it was a wood church, okay.
They did a good job though. They've got gargoyles on there. And all kinds of ancient looking things.
Yeah.
It's a slate roof. That's the original slate roof from 100 years ago.
Well, they were restoring it for the last, what, 10 years?
I don't know
Or
if
even
they are.
more. Well, remember they had the construction site out there for like, and honestly, I felt like it was about 10 years. They were like
Oh, they were working
redoing
on-
the sides.
They were working on, not on the roof, but on the sides.
Yeah. Took
Yeah,
them.
they worked for about 10 years. I guess the wood inside rotted or something. There's the trouble with the slate roof. If you walk on it to fix a broken one, you're breaking them.
Yeah.
Let's cross over here. I haven't seen any signs of life in this church either for the last couple of years. See the
They used to do daycare and stuff like that through here
inside. It
But-
looks like they're using the church as a warehouse.
for garbage.
Well, some people call it garbage.
Beautiful stained glass though.
Oh yeah.
I guess this church is just more popular.
Yeah, this one's hanging on.
Put them out of business.
Yeah. Outcompeted them. Oh, good. I think,
I think we're good.
We're gonna make it. They built those steps, they rebuilt those concrete steps there, and of course the doors are original from 100 years ago. You can go right up to the stone and look at it. You can't tell.
I was just wondering if I can see the gargoyles, because those are really cool.
$18.25.
Now, is this where your family went to church?
No.
Did they not? Did they go to church?
Wait a minute. They went, we're way down there at the end of Main Street. Oh man, that feels like stone. It doesn't, that's not hollow. That is solid. I'm not sure I believe the story about this being a wooden church.
Oh, so you went down to the,
Go and get those gargoyles.
oh yeah, that's better. It's an easier view. If it weren't windy, I would say could fly the drone through up in here.
Oh yeah, it was pretty windy.
Yeah. Because if it's windy down here.
Look at that stained glass.
Oh yeah.
Boy, it feels like it's 2 feet thick.
I remember right there as a kid you told me that